This Christmas can't be the same. I'm screaming, someone please help me. I can't keep playing this game. I feel like Nick's out to get me. Do you sometimes feel like that too? No, really, he's coming right at me. Next, he'll be coming for you. I know you think he's cute and cuddly. Maybe you like to sit on his lap. Sometimes he's into the bubbly. You should give him a slap. He's not as good as a beige, y'all. In fact, he is quite bad. You'll be fighting him over Christmas. Just saying, it'll be sad. I feel like Nick's out to get me. Do you sometimes feel like that too? No, really, he's coming to get me, to get me. Next you, next you, next you, next. This Christmas ain't like the others. This Christmas is taking a turn. I'm telling you, send that guy back now. He kinda looks like a worm. Can't you see what he's about, man? Be happier if you all burn. I feel like Nick's out to get me. Do you sometimes feel like that too? No, really, he's coming to get me, to get me. Next, he'll be coming for you. The night before Christmas, and all through the house, every creature was stirring, 'cause ink ain't allows. The children were nestled all snug in their bed, while visions of nightmares danced in their head. And out on the roof there arose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed and knew what was the matter, 'cause that awful old Nick was at it again. And you all are thinking he's such a good friend, but what am I wondering? Eyes did appear under my tree, jerky of those reindeer. And it gets much worse, 'cause there in my stocking was something so bad, oh girl, it was so shocking. It can't be sung in a Christmas song, 'cause dude, that would just be oh so very wrong. I feel like it's out to get me. Do you sometimes feel like that too? No, really, he's coming to get me. Next, he'll be coming for you. It's time to stop Nick, time to stop him real fast, or your whole body will be bound in a cast. 'Cause he's about to get us an unstoppable beast who'll mess up your Christmas, and he'll eat your whole feast. I feel like Nick's out to get me. Do sometimes feel like that too? Really, he's coming to get me. Whether born in the wild or born in the lab, it would be so much better if he was on a slab. 'Cause no one should mix these two things, dude, it's true. Half octopus, half phoenix, Optimix comes for you. How it got matched with Christmas, I never might know. Think the hat's a disguise, hope suspicion will grow. Please don't think that he's cute, please don't think that he's cuddly, 'cause those tentacle legs and that beak are quite deadly.
Hello and happy holidays. You know, it used to bother me when people said happy holidays, except that I realized something, which is I got a lot of friends that don't celebrate Christmas. And you know what? Merry Christmas to those of you who do, and Happy Hanukkah to those of you who just finished celebrating, and Kwanzaa and all the things. Because you know what? As much as I like Christmas, it does not mean that, whatever. That's what everybody celebrates. So I'm very excited to bring to you next Christmas the song that is for, people who are tired of all the sappy songs and also not necessarily Christmassy. I know, I know, I know. If you're not into that sort of thing, it's really not going to be you. But for those of you who just have had enough, or are sad with I'll Be Home for Christmas and songs like that, because to be quite honest, there's a lot of people who won't be coming home for Christmas, and some people are sad about that. So it's a song for those people. And if it's not your thing, I get it. It's okay. But if it is, enjoy. What else? There is another Christmas song, but I think it's coming out next year because it's Christmas tomorrow. It's not out yet because there's been a lot going on here, y'all. There's been a lot going on. I got to say, so many things. Good things. There's a Moxie. This is Moxie. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is Moxie. She's got a little dress that says fabulous. It kind of matches my jacket. We have sparkles. Yes, I know. It's not her favorite. If you're not a dress up your dog kind of person, well, that's okay too. But I am. Also, I like matchy things for all the peoples and apparently the dog. So, no, she does not have to walk around in like this all the time. It's just something that, is for here or whatever when we're somewhere fancy. There's been some health concerns, and so she's going to help me with those because did you know dogs can do those sorts of things, and she can let me know in advance when something's happening. So yeah, it'll be better. So I'm excited about that. Now she wants to get down. She can get down. She's got a little bed here. She's got this set up on this desk like crazy, and she's tired. She's so tired. I'm trying to get to the chat, you guys. I really want to get to the chat. And it is fighting with me right now. There we go. I've got chat. Haha, I can see everybody. Oh my gosh, we've got an Eileen here. We've got a Julie. We've got everybody. And I got to change my glasses so I can see what you're saying. Because I changed them once so I could look there, but really this is not good. And where did I put them? This is a question. Well, I'm going to look at your chat in just a minute. No sound. Cute puppy. Yay. Oh my gosh. I've got my friends here and it's going to be Christmas. And how exciting is this? I've got nieces. Oh my gosh. Hey, Julie, to everybody. Oh my gosh. It is so good. It's Christmas Eve. My kids used to go to their dad on this day. And so they called it Christmas Adam because it was the day before Christmas Eve. I worked for them. Anyway, that's what they call it. So this is their thing. It's a good way to split up the holidays if you have, or if you're married and you got to go to both families or whatever, give it official name and then nobody gets sad that, whatever. Anyway, so much happening, so many good things happening. We found a Moxie. I had lost my Moxie. I actually lost my very special dog in 2020 and through a series of unfortunate events that you all don't need to hear about, led us here to today, 5 years later, trying to see if, oh my gosh, if this is going to work. She is amazing. She fulfills her name. And she today had a really rough day. I did a short and did I not post it? I will post it when we're done going live. Little Moxie, I left in our bathroom when I went out to keep her safe because that's where her litter box is because she's under 2 pounds. We have hawks and bald eagles. How cool is that here? But not cool when you're a small dog that's smaller than a cat. So I left her in the bathroom. Well, there was a glue trap underneath the bathroom counter I had forgotten about. Not for rodents, but for bugs. Because if you know anything about Florida, we got some bugs. And the glue things, they're nice. And I had forgotten about it. And she found it. And then, well, vegetable oil. I'm doing a thing on it for anyone else who has that problem. Vegetable oil, it just took it all away. Like it melted it, like, and then you just use Dawn and wash it off. I thought it was going to be some horrible thing. Move a little bit to the, yeah, see, I'm trying to keep an eye on that. Dave, thank you for reminding me. All right, so we're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk, the thumbnail says, Mousey to Moxie. People don't use the word Moxie anymore, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's a feminine word for, having like nerve, but not in a bad way. I feel like, you know what I mean? I don't know, like it reminds me of a 50s movie, like she's got Moxie. And I love it. And then we were talking about labels and different things. And I thought, well, then her name kind of goes with what we're talking about. So I thought I would do that. Eileen says, hi, fabulous. She's like a little toy. She is, you guys. She is. And yeah, the whole thing, yeah, about dogs and little dogs and who should we support when we get a dog and the whole thing. I'm not going to get on that soapbox, but I am going to say, well, support the dogs in kennels and shelters because they need it. Let's just end it with that there. It's important. All right. Okay. So now Eileen has said a long thing. So I am going to say, it says trivia. Trivia. Christmas was assigned to December 25th to coincide with a Roman holiday so that Christians would be celebrating when everyone else was, to avoid standing out for not celebrating it. Yes, Eileen, absolutely. That's why we don't celebrate Jesus's birthday anywhere near Jesus's birthday. Yes, so that the beheadings would slow down. It was a whole thing. I don't know. Can I say that on YouTube? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble. Oh, Dave, you're sending things. You're so nice. Okay, that is nice. All right, so we've got people's here that aren't, yeah, that's awesome. I'm trying to see. Okay, very cool. Well, thank you, Dave. That was really nice. Welcome, everybody. You guys are in for a treat. You're in for such a treat because, well, we do have interviews with judges here. We are going to have some new ones. Eileen and Julie, if you guys are missing those, there are 2 local judges. I'm actually going to get to go to their office over the next couple of months and interview them. And I'm very excited about that. But we're also going to do some other things. And we're going to be mixing the podcast and the YouTube channel together. I am officially announcing that there are going to be changes. I know I've talked about it a little bit, but they're going to be great. They are going to be great. It's going to be a little growing pain, which it is right now. But once we get to the end, I have got some incredibly professional people helping me. One of them, though, there are 2 guys that run this business. One of them helped Oprah launch the Oxygen Network and helped The View get started as their producer. So I got him. And I got another guy who's been like Entrepreneur of the Year and worked on the Oscars and whatever. They're working with me. And so you guys can expect the same wild and wonderful Jen, and yet some little, changes, but only for the better. We're not gonna change who we are. We're just going to embrace some more people coming along with us that are going to do some really good things and help us level up a little bit. I'm so excited about that. One of my friends just hit 100,000 subscribers on his channel, and I have to say, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. If you are a Whovian, which would be a Doctor Who fan or someone in the geek realm, as we are, he is amazing. Again, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. He has this little TARDIS that he brings everywhere and gets everyone who's been on the show to take pictures with it and talk to him and gets them on camera. And then they have this incredible live show. And they had one today and it was great. They were celebrating. So I highly, highly recommend it if that is something you like. I just love sharing my friends' channels. I don't know if that's something that we're supposed to do because it gets you to click off of mine. But I don't know. There's plenty of time to watch all the things. Okay, so Eileen's got more about the history of Christmas, which I love sharing factual things. So this is awesome, Eileen. Thank you. It also helps new converts by giving them something Christian to celebrate. That's right. It's likely that Jesus was born in the spring. That's, around March. Actually, that's when the shepherds would be in the fields with their flocks. Yep, that is so true. That is, what I had learned in the past as well, Eileen. So it's so interesting. There are so many things. And, it's funny because we were talking about different groups of people. Do they believe in, because Jesus was a historical person, whether you believe, what you believe about him religiously is, it is what it is. But anyway, so I find it fascinating. I think because we live on the earth with all these different people that believe in different things, it is good to learn about all the different things and value everybody. Hey guys, no matter what they believe in. as long as it's positive, right? Anyway, okay, soapbox over. Anyway, all right, what else is happening here? Well, Christmas is tomorrow. What are you guys doing? Especially Eileen and Julie, anybody else who wants to share? I would love to know. We are going to have a quiet, well, relatively quiet time. Our thing is pajamas. The kids, when we had all seven that were at home or close to home, we would have a contest, and they would have an art contest because they're all artists. It's to some form or fashion. And so they would all submit a drawing and nobody would put their name on it. And then they would all vote. And whoever won, their thing was on our Christmas shirts. And then they got the hoodie of that thing if they wanted it. And so that was always something that we did. This year, I have designed something and I did not have a contest with anybody. I just did it. I actually did it for a thing that Dave and I were doing, but then they didn't get made. So I'm using that same design and we're going to have it. It's going to be really cool. And instead of pajamas this year, because, you know, once you've been doing this for so long, you have so many Christmas pajama pants. I just got black lounge pants so we can all just chill in these things because they're actually things people might wear out. So that is our big thing. Let's see. Oh, we've got another. Okay, Julie is doing absolutely nothing. Good for you, Julie. I hope to do a lot of nothing and just be present with my family. That is something I have not been able to do for a very long time. And I think I'm just going to take the time and do it because you know what? Family is where it's at. Let's see. And Helene says, Colin Crowell once asked a judge what the inside of his TARDIS looked like, and his honor had no idea what he was talking about. That's pretty funny. And then let's see, you're going to your brother's house if your back is up to it. Yep. My nieces do matching PJs. It is a family thing. I cannot wait to see yours. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness. And there are new shower thoughts coming. Speaking of my nieces, because one of my nieces has given me several. And so I will be calling her out when I do the shower thought that she has sent. If any of you have shower thoughts that you would like me to share, you can share them here in the chat, or you can email them to me. My email address that you can reach me at is in the description in the channel, like at the very top, it says whatever, and it is in there. You can send me an email, or you can go to my website and do the contact thing. Either way, but you can actually get a hold of me. Yeah, your cats don't. We do matching Christmas. Your cats don't wear PJs. That's funny. Yeah, we don't have them for the dogs. We don't even have the bandanas or whatever. Although I do have matching dog outfits that somewhat go with our pajamas. So guess what? They're going to be similar. That's kind of funny. Okay, that'll be fun. All right, when you were a kid, I liked Doctor Who, but now I can't stand it. That's funny. Julie, well, you know, there are, yeah, some of the doctors are more my favorite than others. Who is the one guy? The one guy everybody loves. I don't want to say he was like 11-ish. Tennant, David Tennant. I love David Tennant. And I'll be quite honest, I haven't seen a recent Doctor Who episode in a while. It was our older kids that watched it. Our younger kids have never seen it. They should, though, because I feel like they're the age. Our son is 14. That's the age, right? When they start like really, you know, whatever, doing that. So you can't see Eileen can't see other people's comments. Well, that's interesting. Dave, can you look into that? I don't know why. That is weird. That's not good. All right, Eileen, we'll check that out. Yeah, and so our things are our big things, tradition-wise, are that when we go to get our tree, I make Chex Mix, and then we bring it. Dave brings it in and sets it up, and then we eat Chex Mix and decorate it. And the kids lay under it and look up through it at all the lights, and we take pictures of them doing that. I don't know why my oldest son started that like 28 years ago, and it's continued. This year, however, it was our second year with an artificial tree. Everyone's kind of hating that, but also they're like $100 just to have it drop things all over your house, and then you have to drag it out and put it in the garbage. And it just wasn't up for that this year. This wasn't that kind of year. So anyway, Dave can see everybody's comments. Okay. Julie, you detest Star Trek. Well, you know what? Oh, you see David and Bithia. I wonder if it's a member thing. I don't know. That's weird. You can't see Julie's comments though, because Julie's doing a lot of comments. Julie doesn't like Star Trek. You know, Julie. Well, I'm kind of with you on that. I don't know why. Like if it if it was, 1974 and we had three channels and it was on one and I was going to sit down with somebody who was watching it, I would watch it. Would I select it at this point? No, not really. Also, we talk a lot about Star Wars, being Star Wars geeks. I'm going to be brutally honest. Episode 4 is really my favorite. And I haven't even seen all of 5 or 6. And there are now too many to count. And that makes me sad. You know what I mean? Let's see. Julie only sees David and Bithia. This is bizarre. Okay. I don't know why. We'll have to look into that. I will ask my partner managers what's going on with that if I can't find the answer myself. So by Thursday, I will have an answer one way or the other, and we'll try to figure it out. Okay, Eileen's a member. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. But if Julie can see Bithia and Dave, and you can see Bithia and Dave, it's weird that you can't see each other. Dave, thank you for the peach fizzy water. It's so good. It is really good. My favorite. Oh my goodness. When I was young and very broke, that was the fancy drink that I got. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster of being broke and not broke. I tell you what. It's a lot. All right, money. Also, okay, crypto. Are we talking about taking away money and having crypto here? Has anyone else heard about this? I have not done a deep dive. It was a casual conversation someone had with me. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. It has nothing to do with Christmas or the whole Mousey thing, but we're not going to get into it huge. What do you think? I don't think we're ready. That's just my thought, but we'll see. All right, Julie, the only thing I can't stand about Star Wars is when people do the May the 4th thing. Yeah, it's, Isn't it funny how we have different things that really bug us? Like some people I don't know, it's just strange to me. Like there are so many people in the world where there are so many things that some people like and some people don't like it. Some people really don't like. Or like jobs. Like when I worked for a company when I was 18 to 20. Yeah, 18 to 21. Good night. And I did the accounts receivable when I was 18 for a Fortune 500 company, which is just crazy. Anyway, boxes, they made boxes, a subsidiary of this company that I worked for. And the people that worked there were really into boxes. I was not. It was a job to me. I was young, I just needed to pay my rent. But I mean, they lived and breathed boxes. And it made me realize there are people that are in all kinds of different stuff. And I was not that into boxes. And I tell you what else I was not into is inventory. Oh my goodness. I like numbers. Numbers are fun. I like to play around with them. 2 plus 2 does not always equal 4, depending on how you do the math. I worked for a company who made, numbers do all kinds of crazy things so that they can pocket extra money. But no. Anyway, it's wild what numbers can do, isn't it? Once you know how to work them, I guess. And and taxes. Who likes taxes? I love taxes. Taxes are fun. Taxes are fun. Don't cheat on them though. Don't do that. That's never a good idea. No, I did not learn that lesson. I learned it from watching someone else learn the lesson, and thank God. But anyway, okay. So crypto, no one's answering about crypto. Nobody cares. All right. Well, I'm just going to say, I don't think we're ready yet. It may be the greatest thing for all the governments to do. I don't know. I like the idea, though, of having some cash money. Now, I know people don't like touching post, 2020 times. But here's the thing. Sometimes you want to buy things like presents, for example. Christmas is coming. If it's all debit cards and it's all whatever, then everyone knows where you're shopping for them and everybody knows what you're getting, because cash gives you the freedom to just kind of go get what you want without, like for a husband and wife to be able to get each other presents, not to do something sneaky and creepy and bad, but just, to do something like that, or for an anniversary or birthday or whatever, right? And without that freedom, then even the government knows everything you buy and everywhere you go and all of that. And I personally just feel like freedom is good. And I know we've kind of left voices of justice, but I did it because it was important to me. Some of these topics we should still need to talk about, I think. All right. So anyway, all right. So now let's get into the pick your label parts. Labeling, labeling, labeling. Now, other people labeling us and sticking us, pigeonholing us? No, we don't like that. And let me tell you a story. So I used to love dressing up and like getting myself together. Oh my goodness, when I was a teenager, you should not have to spend 2 hours. That is what I spent, because you know what, I'm not the kind of person that wakes up in the morning and looks whatever. I mean, I don't look whatever after 2 hours of getting myself together. I've got a daughter that rolls out of bed and looks gorgeous all day long, and that was just never me. They'll never get rid of cash because credit cards can't be used when the lines go down. Yeah, Julie, I think unfortunately we're precariously close to that moment, though, and you're right. What then will we do? I don't know. Um, but there was a time when I was a single mom and money was short, and I wasn't spending money on myself and clothes and makeup and all that stuff. I mean, when you've got 4 kids and you live in California, I'll tell you what, money goes fast. And I mean, anywhere where there's a high cost of living, right? And so my money went to the kids, and people would call me things like mousy and frumpy and whatever. And it does not make you feel really good, can I tell you? But also, I think when you go through certain times of your life, those things aren't as important. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. I think as women, and as men, both, when you're dating and you're, want to get married or whatever, men and women get themselves together a little bit more and they spend a little bit more time, right? And then when either you have a whole bunch of kids or a child and you're working and doing all these things, or when you get to a certain age and you're like, I'm me. I don't need to worry about that all anymore. And there's a beauty in that, right? There is a beauty, but at the same time, sometimes we just kind of forget all about putting ourselves together and quit. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that if that's where you're at and that's what you want to do. But some people do it because other people have said things, like when people said things to me that weren't nice, like, oh, you're frumpy, you're this, you're that. Well, I was just a tired mom. You know what I mean? And I did not need people calling me names and saying things. Did not help me feel better. So let's see, Julie, my priority was taking care of my children, so I didn't care what people said. See, and that's the thing. Like at the time, I said I didn't care, but it still kind of hurt a little bit, and then as I got older, I don't know, sometimes I think we take those things and we're like, oh, you think that this is what frumpy looks like? I'll show you what it does. And maybe take it to a whole nother level. I don't know. Maybe you're not as rebellious as me, but it's been really nice over the last year to get more into getting myself together, only because I want to, right? Not because Dave's like, or anyone else or whatever. There were a few people that were super mean when I started my YouTube channel. But I didn't do anything for them. I did it because I wanted to be a certain way, and it just feels good to me. But I think that no matter what you choose to do or not do to get ready or to do permanently, there's a lot of people that do a lot of permanent things. I think that should be okay, whether you do or whether you don't, right? And we can be who we want to be. And that's why I didn't say from like mousy to beautiful or whatever, because I think you can be whoever you want to be and be happy in that. But mousy to moxie, because mousy kind of connotates that you're kind of sitting in the back, letting other people make the decisions and do the things. And that's not where we really need to be. You can wear yoga pants and a ponytail or do whatever you want. And as long as you're comfortable and you feel great about yourself, you do that thing. But when you give your power away and you let everyone else make the decisions, that's the mousy part, right? But the moxie, I love the word moxie. And when I saw this puppy who is now so she's got a kennel on my desk and she likes to go in there and sleep. And that's where she is. I wanted her to be with me, but I am not going to make her do something she doesn't do for clicks on the channel. If she's tired, she's gonna sleep. But mice are cute. Eileen, you're right. Mice are cute. But when people call a woman mousy, they're not trying to say she's cute. Yeah. And so I thought, well, what would be a good thing for that that doesn't have anything to do with how somebody chooses to present themselves? It has to do with how she feels on the inside or he feels on the inside. And I like Moxie. It means a word that, for men, that men have a certain thing that with their, whatever, that I won't say here because we've got kids. But I like Moxie because you can say it. It's like I picture like this 50s woman with her hair all whatever, she's got Moxie. And I don't know. Yeah, it's a way of standing up and doing whatever without being like rude. I know bossy was one of our labels last time, and we've got some other ones this time. And do you know what I did this time? I brought this one, because I was thinking you guys could help me with some things that people have called you, that they've said to you that haven't been the greatest, that this empty brick is going to represent the things from other people, right? So that everybody has their space on there, because I think that that's important. And when I say on there, I mean on the jacket. Oh, if y'all haven't seen it, you're going to see it on Thursday. Because I have a visual representation of what the heck I am doing here and why we're talking about it. There's two things. One is a jacket full of bricks, because the labels other people give us are heavy and they're inflexible and they're icky. And the other is a video that I'm putting together. And Eileen and Julie, I really want your opinion. And so it'll come out to members only as soon as I can get it done. It's been a lot of work. So it's a song that's whatever talks about, it's a personal thing to me, right? From where I started when I was in the hospital bed, they told me I had a year to live in 2018 to now, and the transformation that it happened in my life from those years, which is now what it's going to be 2026, 8 years ago. But the transformation that's happened, because for me, when they told me that, it didn't make me want to quit. It made me want to do some things. And I wanted to set a list, and not a bucket list though, not a, to do before, but a list of things that I want to do as I keep going. And I think that's such a different and positive reframing, because when I had my podcast, and I'm going to get to your comments in just a minute, when I had my podcast, and we were talking about health issues, I had two women come on my show, and they both had stage 4 cancer. And one woman came on to talk about how to tell your children what was about to happen. And the other one came on and said, I don't care if I have stage 4 cancer. I have a 5-year-old. I'm going to be at his graduation. I'm going to be at his wedding. I'm going to keep going. Now, is it true that sometimes people that believe that it doesn't happen? It is true. But no matter what, people that have that attitude, what time they have here is better, it's more positive, and it's more impactful on others. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to take her attitude. That woman is still running the foundation she's set up for other cancer survivors or people going through cancer today. She's amazing. And her name is CJ Colas, if you want to look her up. She's just phenomenal. She does a lot of things specifically for women of color with cancer, because that is a whole issue that is rough, guys. Not necessarily equal treatment. And her situation was very rough. And so she helps other people going through the same thing, which is amazing. And I love seeing people who have gone through something, some kind of a trial or tragedy. And instead of wallowing in that, they take it and they use it for good to help other people. Because really, we got to take the down and bring it into something good, right? Okay. So what do we have? Let's see, Julie. Oh, wow. So one of our people called an alcoholic, but you were suffering from severe postnatal depression and rarely touched alcohol. Julie, I have to say, I am so sorry you went through that. That's awful. Along a similar line, the woman that lived in this house before us, they put her in a mental hospital because they thought she had kind of lost it, but she was going through menopause. They just didn't understand, and they said she was crazy. And the word hysterectomy is because of the word hysterical. And I think unfortunately, and this is not an anti-man thing at all, because women do it to other women. It is a universal, unfortunately, thing in healthcare. But women are well, not always taken seriously, and people don't always try to get to the bottom of things. They're very easy to, dare I say, label us as whatever. And I'm really sorry you went through that, because that sounds horrible, especially if you had a baby and somebody's calling you an alcoholic when you're not one, and then they're judging you for that. That sounds rough, and so I'm really sorry you went through that. I know with me, if I bring Dave to the doctor's office with me, they will listen to me and believe what I'm saying, especially if I'm talking about pain. They don't believe me if I am by myself, or believe less, right? They might think I'm seeking medicine or something. But if he goes and says, no, 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 she's really doing this, they listen. In fact, I was trying to get off a medication like in 2015, and he was still in the military and he had his uniform on. And I went to the neurologist, and I had already said, I need to get off this medication. I didn't want to do it without doctor approval, because it was a really intense medicine, and I didn't want to go through that alone. But he was like, nope, nope, nope. And Dave went with me, and it was like some Jedi mind trick. He's like, you will take her off the medicine. The doctor's like, oh, I will take her off the medicine. Yeah, after I had gone several times. So, let's see. I got through the end with no problem. The beginning was welcome to hell. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Jen. It wasn't the doctors that said it. Ooh, ooh. Well, okay, that's a whole other thing, right? Goes back to the labels, doesn't it, of other people maybe in our lives calling us things that we're not, or that they think we are because they don't know us or they don't know the situation. And it's garbage. And that's really awful, especially if it's somebody very close to you. I think that's the hardest. People in your household or your immediate family that believe things about you that aren't who you really are and don't want to hear the explanation. That's rough. That's really rough. And I think especially anything when you're pregnant or have a newborn baby, because you do have a lot of the feels, right? I mean, you've got the hormones there to have the feelings. I know I went through that postpartum depression when Dave was in Iraq, and it was awful because I had 4 teenagers and then I had a newborn, and yeah, it was rough. It was just us in our house, and our teenagers were going through their own stuff because teenagerdom is not easy, and yeah, it was a lot. So I'm so sorry that you went through that, and yeah, but look where we all are now. We're all doing so much better because we can get through it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Julie, but I'm wondering, since you said it wasn't the dog, in Australia, do you have a hard time as a woman getting medical care or having them listen? Because I had only 8 episodes of a podcast called Medical Gaslighting, and David said, don't do it. It's so depressing. And I was like, no, 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 I can handle it. Yeah, I got 8 episodes in. I had to quit because it was so depressing. I mean, we're talking, can I tell you, this woman had a rib this long, and it was here in her neck and shoulder, and it had grown there from the time she was a baby. But as she became an adult and it like grew more, I don't even know, she was in so much pain. And sometimes she would randomly pass out and hit the floor. And when she went to the doctor said, your mom's in a wheelchair. We know you think that you're going to have health problems. You're fine, honey. Go home. She was 30 something, and her boyfriend, she had a new boyfriend, and he was a physical therapist, and he was giving her a shoulder massage. And he said, oh my gosh, that's not right. And she said, no, I've had this muscle for so long, this tight muscle. And he goes, oh no, that's not a muscle. Now, she had x-rays before. She had x-rays, bones show up on x-rays. Everyone had ignored it and not said anything. But because he was there with her, he went to the doctor and he pointed it out, and it turned, this whole thing. And they had to, once they removed it, she was fine. But 30 years of her life, she went through like that. And that was about the time, I think, when I had to say, okay, you know what? I can't anymore. There was just too many stories of things. Yeah. But, and for some reason, that podcast is still getting, I don't know, podcast of the month things from Good Pods, even though I haven't done it. So anyway, yeah. So, I mean, and I don't mean this to sound depressing. So let's talk about ways we can be positive with this. Oh, wait, hold on. Postnatal depression in the 90s, it was very difficult to find help. Not much has changed in 30 years. I actually turned to the police and asked them for help. Wow. Yeah, I think, you get to a certain point where you're like, I just need help somehow. Somebody, please, dear goodness, help. Um, what are ways? Now, when I did that podcast, I did interview a doctor and asked her how we could get the best care. And I'm going to take a drink and then I'm going to tell you because we can't leave it as being depressing. So, she was a woman who had health problems and then became a doctor. You want to come join me? Come here. She's up. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. Oh my goodness. All right. So this is Moxie. If you've just joined us, I found my Moxie. I did. Yeah. You want to sit with me, or I don't know what you want to do. Anyway. Okay. Here are some steps you can take to get better healthcare, at least in the U.S. She said that because they are all overworked at this point, they're all overworked. There's not enough doctors and nurses. And so, unfortunately, it's kind of like an assembly line, like especially if you're at the hospital, because they have so many patients. Okay. And she said to some degree, sometimes they have to see us more as numbers than as people, which is how we feel we are sometimes, right? So she said either having a person with you really humanizes you and really reminds them like, okay, this person has a family, whatever, whether or not that should be a thing. I'm just telling you what she said. And the other thing is that if you can't bring somebody with you, have a picture of your family and have a picture so that they know like, oh, this is, these are the people that care about this person or whatever. Because again, whether it should be or not, they're just really overworked, guys, and they just need a little gentle reminder. She is just laying straight on the desk just to be. She's so cute. The other thing is do not ramble a lot and like talk like I know we all want to tell our whole story, right? We all want to tell every detail. They don't have time and they don't want to know. They can't. So what you want to do is just bullet point your story of what happened and why you're there. That's what they want. Okay. Do not bring them a thick book of a medical file. Bring them one sheet that highlights everything that you've been through, all the medications you're on, hand it to them so that they can look it over and know exactly what's going on. That will help them. Oh my goodness, especially with like 2017, Dr. So-and-so said this, because then they can ask Dr. So-and-so if they have questions. All right. And then there was the third thing that I was going to say, which is let them know you're not seeking pain medication. Let them know that right away, up front, very clearly, because so many people are, and that has to be their assumption at this point. And so even if you are in pain, let them know, hey, look, I'm in pain, but I'm not here for pain medicine. I'm here to get rid of the cause of the pain. Let's do that. And that just helps them answer that question. And if you're in awful ungodly pain, they're going to give you something probably. But if you ask for that first, they're going to think that everything else is a little bit embellished. So those are the 3 tips she gave me, the 3 that I can remember that really sank in. They kind of made me sad a little bit, but we do get better care now that we do things that way. So there you go. Yeah, there we are. So it goes back to having Moxie, right? Like knowing what you need to do to stand up for yourself, standing up for yourself, not being afraid. I know women of a certain age tended to be told not to stand up so much for ourselves and maybe give in to everybody else and let everyone else have things the way they wanted because that's what we were supposed to do, right? Let the other person win and let the other person be better and whatever. And I think that the younger women are coming along and saying, no, we don't want that anymore. And it's making some people question what we were taught, which sometimes make things harder for other people. And I understand that. But, times they are a changing, right? I'm given a steroid for my back pain. See, there you go. Like, oh, I hate steroids. Can I tell you? I don't do well with them. I cannot take prednisone. It turns me into the Hulk for real. Like, it's bad. I cannot. So more power to you if you can. Oh, Glamorously Grounded is here. Oh my goodness, guys. If you like building Lego or watching people build Lego or just having a great casual conversation, our other channel is Glamorously Grounded. And by our other channel, I mean, it's Dave's. Dave is on there building Lego and he has got more people during his live streams than I do. And he has 1/10 of the subscribers. because he's just that good, and he just has an incredible conversation, and he's so real, and I love it, and people love it. And so if you're looking for something to watch in the morning, he streams around 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern time. In the mornings, it's not really as much of a regular schedule at this point, but it will be um, relatively shortly. He's just trying to figure out what days are best or whatever right now. So that's what he's doing, and it's been a lot of fun. And people really like. I love watching him when I'm up. I'm not usually up that early, and so it's been really fun. So yeah, and I am very excited to help him grow that channel once things here slow down a little bit and I can do that. So anyway, let's see what else. Oh, and one of our children has a channel, and she changed the name of it, but it's at the bottom of my channel. Like there's, if you go to the main page, like youtube.com/thejenhardy, whatever, at the bottom there's recommended channels, and those are all our family channels. And my son, I need to add his channel there. He just started, and he does stop motion with Lego. And he's phenomenal. He's got the patience of a saint, which is funny because he's also got ADHD. But anyway, okay, to answer my question, DV femicide is more of an issue in Australia than doctors not listening to her. Oh, really interesting. Wow, Julie, I had no idea. That is wild. That is not what I expected you to say, and I am literally speechless. So, wow, I'm sorry. It's awful, isn't it? We live in a time where a lot of people say that everyone is equal, and people look at everyone as equal, but unfortunately, um, they're not. And I think the people that do see everyone as equal sometimes struggle with realizing that other people don't. Does that make sense? I've got somebody close to me who sees people as being equal, and they get frustrated when I talk about being treated differently. But I am treated differently because I'm a woman. And I don't go out there expecting a problem ever. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like I love whatever. I don't have animosity toward any certain people, but I just unfortunately have to be aware that that may be an issue, and sometimes it is. And it's been really great that Dave has been willing to step in and help out. Like we redid our house because it was sinking into the ground, and we were able to fix it, which is great. We put in the steel beams that went into the bedrock below, and it's a whole long story. There were these 3-foot drain pipes, and when one of the hurricanes came through, they were too close to the house. They shouldn't have been so close, and they collapsed, and the sand from under the house went into these large drain pipes because we live by the beach. We live literally on sand. So they put these things in, and when they bolted our house into the ground, they raised it up a little too high and cracked it all the way, or half of our house, like north, whatever, so like all the sides. Oh my goodness. And so then we had to redo a bunch of things. And we had 12 different people coming in. I was our general contractor, hiring out whatever. And do you know that only the homeschool kid who painted our house would listen to me, and everybody else, I would tell Dave what we were doing, and he would tell them, because they wouldn't listen to a woman. They just didn't want to, but they would listen to him. And so, we just find ways of working around it. But there are several things about that are frustrating. One is it's not 1952, it's 2025. What if I didn't have Dave? And what about all the women that don't have a Dave? What are they supposed to do? Not get work done? I don't know. And also, why? Why will people not listen? I don't know. It's interesting. It's another soapbox, and I'm just saying. But we're working on it, right? Right, ladies and gentlemen, because I think most men are on board with the whole thing. And you know what? We can just work together and do all these things, and it's great. I think they are. It's just, a thing about the bad apples, you get one in there and it's icky. And if you don't get it out of there, like all the apples get icky. It's kind of like that one guy, right? Or that person also could be a woman, as I've said. We're not picking on the guys, because you know what? A lot of you guys are doing really great things. So I just want you to know. I grew up with somebody that was very anti whatever. And, I don't think we should be anti any particular group of peoples, unless they're really mean peoples, like, terrorists. We can be anti them. But because if we are, then we're part of the problem, right? I would have pulled them up about their contact. Oh my gosh, Julie. It was really incredible. And I did. And we had some people walk off the job. And I wasn't even rude. I had not learned about boundaries yet. This was 3 years ago, and I did not have boundaries. Can I tell you, learning about boundaries and utilizing them has changed my life so much for the better. I didn't then, and so we were like, well, should we just let them get away with it? But the people that we had enough. They did leave the job. We had one guy cut a hole in our kitchen wall, which faces the outside of the front of our house. He cut a big hole in it, and then he walked off the job. Let me tell you why he cut a big hole in it. Because I live in Florida. Now, I love Florida. There's a lot I love about living in Florida, but there's some weird stuff. I'm not going to lie. There's weirdness. You all know that. You've heard. But the people that lived here before us, as I've said, the guy thought his wife was crazy instead of realizing she was going through menopause. And really, she was probably a little edgy, and he didn't like that. I'm just saying. Yeah. But what they did, and in a way it was good, they put an air conditioner in the kitchen, and they put a generator, like a line for a generator, just to the kitchen. So you had your stove, your fridge, your air conditioning, and then there was a door there, and you could just live in the kitchen. So if the power went out, you'd have a generator out on the lanai, which is a screened porch. That's what we call it in Florida. And, well, technically not in the lanai, but whatever. We put it in the lanai. Shh, don't tell. It's fumes. We just don't open the door. But anyway, but what he did, instead of putting the window air conditioner in the window, he cut a hole in the wall and installed it into the concrete wall. Now, we have these huge concrete blocks that make up our home, and then our roof is literally bolted into the ground, and it's all supposed to withstand 300-mile-an-hour winds, because the highest hurricane is only like 175 miles an hour. So we are really secure here. And I guess he wanted the air conditioner to be secure. But as you know, window air conditioners, well, they don't last forever. And so it died, and it was nasty and all yellowed and old because it was from like 1987, and it had to come out. And so, yeah, this guy comes out and he cuts because you have to like cut the concrete to get it out because they concreted it into the wall. And then he's like, oh, by the way, now that you have this hole in your wall, I'm going to double what I said I was going to charge you to patch it. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to figure that out as I go. And as you can probably guess, my response was no. And guess what I did? I learned how to patch it, and I did it myself. And can I tell you how good that felt? I patched the concrete wall. It was really cool. I also did some stucco work out on the lanai, and I did all this other stuff because I'm like, you know what, guys? They also did kind of a shoddy job. And I thought, if I'm going to pay you all this money to treat me poorly and do shoddy work, I'll spend that money at the Home Depot and do it myself. And I did. And that felt great. And then we hired this homeschool kid. I think I talked about him a little bit, but he was 17 years old, painted our home inside and out, and literally, of all the people that we had hired, did the best work incredibly, and charged me a fifth of what anyone else would have charged to paint our house. He was thankful to get it because he was going to college. We were thankful to have him. And yeah, that was incredible. So, right, Julie, it was awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, really, really cool. And it was so much fun. I don't know. I think when you work on your own home, it feels really good. We just needed so many things all at once. And, most people stagger those things out. I scheduled them all to do our work within 2 weeks? Everything was done within a month. And then we redid our kitchen. Oh my gosh, can I tell you the kitchen story? Because it was so much fun. So we had an insurance thing to redo our kitchen. But the money that they gave us was it was supposed to redo our entire kitchen, which is like, at that time, $60,000, and we had 16. which was enough to buy cheap cabinets at the Home Depot because we have a relatively large and ungodly, strangely shaped L kitchen. And so we were just going to get the cheapest cabinets and put them up ourselves and call it a day. Well, this one day I was looking and the money had just come in and I was looking online and they had super nice cabinets and they were 60% off and they fit my budget. But I hadn't designed the kitchen yet. And as I just said, it was this very funky shape, like we had this huge wall, whatever. And guess what I did? I had 4 hours till that sale ended, and I designed our entire kitchen in 4 hours. I mean, I had an idea what I wanted, and I did it. And I only messed up one measurement, which for me, if you know me, measurement and time, they're not my forte. That's why I do a lot of digital things. But all I did was I measured one spot as a 9-inch small cabinet, and really it was 6 inches. But guess what I did? I had a 6-inch cover and I made by hand a rolling thing to go in there and put the thing that matched the cabinets on it. And now we have that for our spices. But I did it, you guys, and it was so beautiful, except the crown molding. There was 2 years ago. There's still a piece missing because it was a weird angle. But now, instead of having cabinets where you have to go in the bottom and dig around for your pots and pans, it's drawers. And the pots and pans are actually in the standing cabinet. Can I tell you? The difference in having a woman who uses a kitchen design her own kitchen and going into something that somebody that randomly like just stamped out a whole bunch of houses that didn't really think about how the kitchen would function, it's so much better. But when you stand at the dishwasher, there's a cabinet to your left with glasses and the cabinet to your right with the plates, and you just stand in the middle and put things away. It's so easy. And drawers. If you get to redo your kitchen, please, dear goodness, get drawers. Cabinets are annoying. Drawers are, you just pull it out. Everything's there. You don't have to look. And now Dave's doing all the cooking and all this stuff. And it's all set up for him to make it better. And it's really nice. And then do you know what we did? This is my favorite part of our kitchen is we had gone, our daughter, oh my gosh, our daughter who is amazing. She rented in North Carolina on the beach. She rented an 8-bedroom, 8-bathroom house so that all of our family and her husband's family could all go and be together for like right around Christmas time. And we went there, and in the kitchen, because it was such a large house and there was a lot of people, they had a double refrigerator, but it wasn't a $10,000, $20,000 refrigerator. It was 2 refrigerators put with the one top big door, right? And the door handle on one was on this side and this is on this side. So you open it like this, okay? And it looks like one huge fridge. And I was like, I want that. So when we did our kitchen, we had a space just big enough exactly for that. And we bought them when they were half off. So we spent the price of 1 fridge and we got 2. And people come in and they're like, oh, that's so bougie. But no, because here in Florida, most people have an extra refrigerator and or freezer in their garage where the feels like temperature is over 100. You are paying to cool a fridge and freezer outside in the heat. We don't do that. Ours is in the kitchen. We pay a third of what they pay. So really, instead of being bougie, it's just practical and actually cheaper. So there you go. Julie, you are the dishwasher. Ooh, yeah. I have to tell you, we just need a dishwasher. We're a dishwasher kind of house. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we struggle when we don't have a dishwasher, but more power to you, Julie, because the more that we talk, and hey, it's good to see you, Dave. The more that we talk, the more I feel like I get to know you. I feel like we would, well, I mean, obviously we would all be friends because that's why you guys come back and we all get to talk and it's exciting. Oh, this is another thing, Julie and or Eileen. If you would like to come on the show with me on one of the lives or not on a live, we just do like not an interview, but like a conversation that we record and then we share it. I would love to have either one of you. Like I said, you can either go to the description. There's an email address that I'm not going to say because then every bot will pick it up. But then also on my website, there's a contact page. And Eileen, you already have my email address. But if you want to, I would love to. If you don't, I get it. We could also do an audio podcast thing. Okay, my niece has got to go soon. Okay, so I think it would be so much fun. Although the audio is mixing with the video. But I would love that, and I think it would be great. And then everybody could get a chance to meet you. So if you want to do that, that'll be fun. And my nieces have to go soon, so I have to say to my nieces and to everybody in my family, I love you so much, and I wish that we were together on Christmas. And one of these Christmases we will be. To my niece who just had a birthday, I cannot believe you are the age you are. You're amazing. And to my other little niece, so are you. Oh my goodness, you all are growing up way too fast. And then there's another niece that's going to bring on another niece, and I'm very excited about all of you peoples. And my brother and his wife, I love you. Mwah. I love you all, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. And to the rest of you who are to the rest of you who are watching, my mom did not feel like she was ready to be a grandma, and she only had my brother and I, and we brought her 12 grandchildren between the two of us, and it was beautiful and glorious. And I love it because we wanted a big family, and so we had one. We each did. So it was good to see you guys. And your tablet is your most sophisticated equipment. You know what? That doesn't matter, Eileen. It doesn't matter at all. That's the only sophisticated equipment you need. In fact, you could just use a phone. It doesn't really matter. I have ways of making everything sound incredible. In fact, there's a free thing Adobe has. It's podcast.adobe.com for anybody watching who wants to clean up some audio. And all you do is upload audio or video, and it sounds like we were in a studio. So I can do anything through that. That is not a problem. So if you want to come, how somebody looks or how somebody sounds or whatever, none of that is an issue, because I just want to bring the real people that I love onto the show. That's the thing. And then eventually we're going to have some other people who just mix everybody in together. And right, because that's just, that's what I want to do. So anyway, let's see what else. I love my tablet. Right, Eileen? I think about when I was a kid and the things we imagined happening, right? And like being able to have a phone where you saw somebody and talked to them, and what we pictured, right, would be, remember we had those televisions, those big fat televisions with the VCR underneath. Like that's kind of how I pictured it. And now we have this thing. I mean, this phone case is obnoxiously thick and annoying, but like this thing right here, right? And it can do like anything. We can get a hold of anybody and do anything and see them all over the world. Talk to my daughter in Germany for free. I mean, do you remember when calling somebody the next county over was like $37 for 12 minutes? And now here we are. So yeah, a tablet is like a portal. I don't know. It's amazing to me. It really is. Tech is, it's pretty incredible. The Jetsons, it is like the Jetsons, isn't it? It's incredible. Canon string phones. I had a Canon string phone, Julie, and it's incredible that those worked, isn't it? Oh my goodness. They did though. They did. And or going to Radio Shack. Do you remember? I remember going to Radio Shack, and I was so excited because they had those little radios in different colors, and you could actually get your own personal radio, and then you could pick a color. And there was like five colors, and I got orange. Orange is not a color I care for, but for some reason like that just tickled me because it was a bright color, and all the tech stuff had been like white, black until then, and we got a color. So. And look at how far we've come. Oh my goodness. We were watching a thing of young Sheldon, like from the Big Bang Theory. And he was like talking about how Radio Shack would always be there. And I remember I went to one in Tennessee. Well, it's been a while now, probably like 8 or 9 years ago. And I think that was, I still have that vivid memory. But also it was sad even then because they had not caught up. I don't know how they went so far behind because they were at the cutting edge when I was a kid, and then they weren't. But that's how you love orange. That's awesome. Yeah, my son-in-law, it's his favorite color. In fact, he's got, I wish I could, a McLaren? No, I don't know what kind of car he has. It's some super fancy car in Germany, and it's bright orange, and it definitely stands out. And I have got to say, it does look pretty cool going down the highway. Yeah, so, yeah, Eileen, did you have a Canon string phone? Oh my goodness. And then the games we played and the equipment on the playground that they can't even have anymore because so many people got injured or whatever. It's wild to me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, this dog is laying on the cold desk with her foot hanging off. She is precariously at the edges of everything. And, to be here with she's with me because she, she can run around on the ground because she's a dog and she needs to do that to get exercise. But we can't just leave her there because she'll get stepped on because she's literally 1.8 pounds and very small. My poodle, who is now 3.1 pounds, did get stepped on and she broke her leg. And the doctor couldn't do surgery because she was smaller than a cat. And he said the bone that broke was like a toothpick and there was no setting it. So this one, we've just got to be more careful. Let's see, Blockbuster will always be there. Oh, wait. Right, Julie? Right. I mean, do you remember those weekends? I remember when Dave and I were dating, we were like, let's go to the Blockbuster. We take the kids. It was this big thing. And yeah. Oh, my goodness. And you have a Samsung phone. Yes, Samsung does amazing things. They have those foldy phones and all kinds of crazy stuff. We are an Apple house and everything we have is in the Apple ecosphere. But I do have a Samsung as my work phone. Do I know where it is? No. Are people trying to call me and do business? Probably. I really need to get on that. Dave, I need your help. I don't know. That's the last problem I think I have now that I have my book. Oh, can I tell you all? Oh my goodness, where'd it go? I did a thing that I thought I didn't need to do and that wouldn't make a difference. And can I tell you, it's been the single most impactful thing in my life. I got this book. This book is a daily planner. Now, you might think to yourself, that's ridiculous. It is. It's like it's got every page is one day, just one day. But I look at the schedule the night before and I write it down so that because I'm a tactile learner. So if I write things down, it helps me remember. And so I look at it and I write it down. And then the next morning I look at it and check my schedule one more time. And I have not been missing things or been late to things since I started. Do you know who helped me with this? My physical therapist, believe it or not, because I've been in a lot of pain in my shoulder caused by stress. And he was saying that really one of his jobs is to help people deal with the things that they're struggling with so that their bodies function better. Who knew that your physical therapist is kind of like a psychotherapist? But yeah, so he's been helping me get my stuff together. He's done a really good job. He was the one that suggested I went and stayed for 24 hours at a hotel and get all my work done so that I could catch up. And I honestly wish I could do that once a quarter because it was amazing. It was amazing. I got so much done and so much clarity just completely focusing because I was not surrounded by any of my crap, right? Just hotel bed, hotel desk. All I could do was the work and it was great. So anyway, he's got all kinds of good ideas. Let's see. Lots of issues with some Samsungs here. They fail when needing to call emergency services. Oh, well, that's not good. And and Apple wasn't compatible with your equipment at work. Yeah, Eileen, I get that. Because a lot of offices don't have Apple stuff. And then, yeah, you can't. So I get it. For my brain, Apple seems to work better. I don't know. I think the way it thinks, and that seems to help me. I really struggled with PCs, but also when I was in high school, Apples were what my school had, when the screens were like black with green writing. And so I learned how to code and everything on an Apple way back in the day. And we had an Apple II computer, which, yeah, we also had a Betamax. My dad really was into tech, except he tended to pick the wrong tech. So yeah, I learned coding on an Apple back in the day. And so I think it just stuck the way they do things, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So that's what we've got. We've got a ridiculous amount of tech in this house. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, but everyone's doing the techie things, so we have to. And Dave is an IT guy, so he can fix it. And also, do you know what he can do to fix a computer? This is amazing. My husband, I can be just literally banging my head against the desk trying to figure this out, and all he has to do is walk into the room, and the computer's like, "Oh, Dave's here. Better shape up." I kid you not. And I've talked to some other people, and there are some people that work on computers that just have this like magical aura about them that the computers, I don't know, hear or feel or something, and then boom, they fix it. It's very nice. I don't know what I would do if he wasn't here fixing the computers. I mean, there's many other things that Dave does, obviously, that I couldn't live without. But how do people work without their own IT department? I don't know. I've got questions. I need them answered. I was trying to get him to do some kind of like a concierge computer service so that he could help other people like he helps me. I think they would really like that. But Not right now. Right now, he gets to be retired and enjoy that and be able to do what he wants. And, you know, he did a lot of stuff and for a lot of people for a lot of years. And he's enjoying that. So yeah, Julie, you remember Commodore computers. I remember Commodore. I remember the ads for those things. You remember they used to have them in magazines, like these black and white pictures of these computers. I remember because I used to get Entrepreneur magazine, Dave. I don't even know when we lived at the Portland house, and we've moved a lot, so we call them each of our houses has a name. And but when we lived at the Portland house, I got the Entrepreneur magazine, and they had iPad. Will it make it? Like, is it worth it? They had just come out, and the people at Entrepreneur were like, "This is ludicrous. There's no reason for a tablet. Why would people want something like that?" And turns out they did. But yeah, it's interesting. CompuAd. Oh my goodness. Zenime's here. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know what I have? Hold on. I got to show you something. Speaking of tech changing. Hold on. If I can find it. Oh, I have it right here. Do I? Oh, no. Okay. I have hidden it. Crap. I just knocked something over. I have hidden it. But what I have is a book that's a calculator. It's from the 1800s, and it's the same size as a calculator. And you flip through it, and it tells you all the things for like percentages and mortgage rates and everything. But it's paper. And it's so incredible. And I was just showing somebody, and then I tucked it behind some books. And you don't need to look at my back while I try to find it, but I will find it for next time and show you because it is so incredible. Hey, you're here. Oh my gosh. Learn to code on a dating app. That's funny. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I saw your show today and it was so great. Oh my gosh. In fact, I screenshotted when you put my comments up and you were on the screen because it made me so happy with your Santa hat on. Anyway, so yeah, oh goodness gracious, please don't fall off the desk. This dog, I'm telling you, she was in her bed. Okay, so wait, you guys, you got to see. This is Moxie. Moxie is my new partner in crime here on the channel and in life. Anyway, I forgot what I was just saying. Golly jeepers, she got me distracted. Oh no, so I wanted you to see her. So she's got her head in a brick right now. Like her face is in one of these holes and she's just laying there and I don't know what she's doing. I used to have an abacus. Oh my gosh, Julie, can I tell you? Okay, forget what I was going to say before because this is fascinating. You know, in Japan, they still use an abacus to do all these different things. And our kids last 2 years ago were doing this math that was a combination of Japanese math and American math because really Japanese math is really good. But it's a lot to just jump into. So we did this like transitional math. Anyway, my kids were doing math into the thousands on a regular abacus like we have here. It was incredible. Oh my gosh. And it was so easy. And also you just wait a minute. I just realized you just gave a $2 thing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That is so nice. And I want to figure out how to put that on the, how to share that because you were sharing all the things today. And I know that I can. Oh my gosh, look at that. I can do it. And I have, you know what else I have? I have all the sound effects and stuff. Those are going to come out. We're going to do all the things. Wait, can I cheer for you? Wait, I think I can. Hold on just a second. I got to figure it out though, because it's been a little bit. Do I? Maybe. I don't know. I got all these dumb things here. Oh, look. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can or not. Hold on. Thank you. That was so nice. And did it work? Can you hear the applause? I want to know because that's pretty cool. There we are. Oh, and thank you for saying she's cute. Yeah, she is. She's cute. She's a hot mess. So she may not have been taken care of very well before I got her. Did not realize how poorly she had been taken care of. Might have been told some things that were untrue. If by that I mean everything. And we're getting her together. So there we go. We're getting her together slowly but surely because oh my goodness. All right. Now I think I don't. You got the cheers. You did get it. Okay. You finally released your podcast, Anime. That's so awesome. I am so excited for you. That is really cool. That is really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about podcasting. Although I have to tell you, I haven't put an episode out of my podcast for 5 weeks, but that's because everything is about to become one. And then when I have an episode here, it will go there. And then it's all going to be the same thing. Because can I tell you, for a little while, we were working on like 5 YouTube channels and a couple of podcasts and all this stuff. It's too much, guys. It's too much to do quality. And I would rather do quality and have just the same, going out as audio and video. I personally believe that a podcast it's audio, but we can call everything that's video a podcast if we want to. We can call it anything we want, and then it's really audio. That's what I think. But anyway, it's just me. Okay, so Xana May has released her podcast. What? We got to share that with everybody. That's so cool. Oh wait, we can give you applause too. Ready? 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 Oh, this is fun. Yeah, I have so many better sounds. We're going to work on that. And I've got some songs. I don't know if I've told you all. And those of you who don't know, I've been working on songs. Is my voice the best? It's not. I know. But the songs are good. Like the lyrics are good. And somebody else wants to do it because they're better. Great. I will let them. I don't have to keep them to myself. But I'm releasing them anyways. I am. And so I've done 3 singles. I've got another single coming out. It was supposed to be last week, but can I tell you that it has been a lot to get this one thing done? And then I have an album coming out next month. And then it's going to slow down on the music, but there's a reason it's coming out because it all goes together, because it shares the journey of what we're doing. You've got to go and put the aircon on. Okay, Merry Christmas. Mwah! Julie, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And well, you're going to celebrate it before we do. It's already Christmas Eve there. That is so amazing, you guys, isn't it? One content across the platforms. Yes, that is the way to go. And if you do shorts or whatever, that's separate, batch, Xana May. Can I tell you, I do 1 to 200 shower thoughts at a time. 100, 200. It's a lot of time standing in the bathtub in bare feet, can I tell you? But then they're done, right? Then they're done, and I have a really good time, but I don't get, whatever. So, yeah. It's interesting, but I like it. I'm going to go do we're working on what we're going to do. I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a little kid on here that did a couple of the legal words, and he's going to do some of the new stuff with me. I think we're going to try it because he got 1 million views in a month and people really like him, and he's so cute. And can I tell you something? Okay. So I designed this kid, right? Because he's a created kids. The best ideas are born in a shower. That is so true. Anyway, I created this child. He looks like a, whatever. But I wanted him to look like the average person. The average person in the world is not blonde. There's 80% of the world is not blonde. So, he has darker hair and darker eyes. And he just, and he's just the cutest thing. And, so I had him on my iPad, like as my screensaver, because he's so cute. And I sat down this airplane, and these ladies are with me, and they're a little bit older than me, and they're going on some thing with their class, this alumni thing that they've been doing for the last, I don't know, 57 years. And the same people, the same thing hey, you know what? Good for you. And they were like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. Is that your grandson? And I was like, no, I made him. Yeah. That kind of ended that conversation because they did not know what to do with that information. And then they're like, what do you do? And I said, I'm on YouTube. They were done. They were so confused. But anyway, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. People my age cannot relate to me. People that are younger than me, well, they can't either. So it is what it is. Yes, he is, Eileen. He is CGI. Like, he looks like a kid, but he speaks in a baritone man's voice because to me, that's just funny and ironic. But yeah, and I know a lot of people, it's funny because I put out the video. I don't know if you guys saw, I'm going to do a shorter version of it tomorrow for Christmas. I did one on Thanksgiving it was called The Holiday Hero. And it's the mom who's like going through everything to put on dinner for her family, like in the wild, walking through fire, like doing all these things, because here's the honest truth is, and Dave is wonderful. Wait, hold on just a second. Dave is very helpful, and I make my kids help. So this is not about my family, but I've noticed in a lot of other families, and I was shocked that there are adult children that are saying they don't help their parents when they go there for the holidays. They'll go and they'll bring their kids, and they're like, but my mom likes to do the dishes. No, no woman likes to do the dishes after she's cooked for 12 hours and served you all. And if you are out there, then you are one of the few. And kudos to you. Mwah. But most women do it because that is what is expected, right? Is what we do. And we don't want to burden our children with having to do the dishes. So we do them every holiday. And so I put this video out to show people and illustrate what it's really like. So she's doing all these things and like hunting for the turkey in the river with the bears and the salmon. I mean, some of it's obnoxious, but at the end, she's asleep on the chair, right? And then it pans over to the kitchen and it's like, but it's not done because there's a mountain of stuff in the kitchen. And then the crew comes in and they're like the SWAT team, and they come in and they clean up the kitchen for her while she sleeps. And that's the point for me, is to educate other people so that their families can do what my family does and help them at the end of the day. Now, this year, I probably won't be doing a lot of the cooking. It may be Dave. I don't know which one of us is going to do it, but whichever one does, the other one's going to kick in a little bit and help out. And the kids are, because even though it's a holiday and we love our children, it doesn't mean that they don't have to help at all. That is my own personal thing. So anyway, that's my belief. I don't know about you guys. Also, I don't get all the things right away right here. That's weird. The comments. So I used to wash the dishes at my first boyfriend's parents' house. Yeah. See, Eileen, you know why? Because this is what was expected. Like, this is just what you do when you want to impress people. And because we thought we had to do all the things, right? Well, I can bring home the bacon fried up in the pan and never, ever, ever let you forget you're a man because I'm a woman. True, we can. But should we? Need to? I don't think anymore that we should need to. And I think other people can step up. Yeah, I know it's not the most popular thing with people our age, but you know what? Yeah, I know times they are a changing. It kind of reminds me, there was all these videos in the 90s about, responsibility and things changing, like Fiddler on the Roof, for example. That's not from the 90s, but I mean, it's a beautiful, I love it, musical, but it's all about this Jewish town in Russia and how all these things are changing. And I remember thinking at the time, like, but we don't always want it to change. Like, we want our tradition, and we do. I love a good tradition. It's beautiful, and it ties us to the past, but also maybe there's some things we don't need to be tied to in the past. And this is, what I'm learning right now, because I'm listening to my younger daughters and some of the things they're saying, which, yeah, it is what it is. All right. So what else is going on? Washing the dishes at your first boyfriend's parents. I just feel like, sounds like something I would do. Probably did the same thing, actually. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? But also, there's something, tradition. That's right. I love that song. I love that movie. I mean, I tell you what, I love it. That one and Annie. I assistant directed Annie, and I want to be Miss Hannigan one day so very badly. It is a goal of mine. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But Fiddler on the Roof, also one of my favorites. Well, guys, it is 10:30. I did not realize, because I haven't even looked at the time, and that's why people have to go, because it's so late. So I am going to say Merry Christmas to you all, and I am so thankful to you. You are so amazing. This past year has been incredible here. It's been a roller coaster. We started off one way, and we're ending up a little bit different, and next year is going to be a wild ride, but stick with me, because we're going to do some really incredible things. I have got a team behind me that is off the chain great, and are really going to help me get where I'd like to take this, so that I can bring you some really great stuff that's fun and entertaining. We can sit and have a conversation, but it also brings you some really good value, and that's important to me. So you all have an incredible Christmas, or whatever it is that you celebrate. You are loved, you are appreciated, And I will, well, Thursday is Christmas. I may or may not be here on Christmas. It depends. If my family all wants to do their own thing and go to sleep, then I will be here and I'll just hang out. And if we're all going to be together, then I'm going to be with my family because that is what Christmas is all about. So, all right, you guys have a great one. I love you so much. And remember, if you choose to be Mousy and you want to do whatever and you like that, you get to be whoever you want to be. But it doesn't mean you can't have some Moxie and do what you want along the way. Mwah! I love you, and I'll see you soon. Merry Christmas.